into the classroom, and by the way, out of 65 cents at a national average going to the classroom, only 44 cents makes it to the classroom in South Carolina. But when you're trying to stretch those, it makes sense to streamline the process and be effective, effective as you can.
Thank you very much.
Representative Haley, to promote economic prosperity, you say that we should take advantage of our technical schools and skill the workers that our employers need. The leaders of our technical system, though, technical college system, would argue that that's exactly what they're doing right now. Can you be more specific in what you're in explaining what needs to be done differently?
Absolutely. You know, what we're seeing is we're spending $12,000 a year to educate a child in this state. It's going through 1,000 people at the Department of Education and 85 school districts before it ever touches a teacher and student in the classroom. We are only graduating 1 out of every 2 kids in 4 years. 1 out of every 2. What we need to do is understand we're losing them in 9th grade. We need to start looking at what's happening career-wise in 8th grade. We need to look at vocational programs in 9th grade, and we need to strengthen our technical schools. We have amazing technical schools in this state, but they are not getting the funding that they need. We need to hold institutions of higher learning accountable. Right now, funding for higher ed is happening based on the number of lobbyists in the State House. That's not how we need to be funding. I'm a proud graduate of Clemson, but if you look of all 16 technical schools, it's not right. It's not balanced. We need to make sure we strengthen our technical schools so that they have programs that are helping our small businesses and also helping recruit new companies to the state.
You talk about technical schools not being funded correctly. In the recession, we know that their budgets have been cut by nearly 50%. You were part of the legislature, though, that brought that on, that allowed that to happen. Do you bear some of the responsibility for that, though?
As governor, I will show the importance of why we need to strengthen our technical schools. As a legislator yesterday, when we dealt with the vetoes, those were 3 that I overrode because we don't need to pull money from the technical schools. That actually strengthens jobs. That actually helps skill our workers, and that will help our unemployment rate. So I stand by making sure that the technical schools are strong.
Congressman Barrett, we have another question along those same lines from a viewer. It's actually from Robert Lentz in Columbia, who has served on a technical college board for 16 years. And Robert says our only source to balance the budget is to increase tuition, and that they're now threatened by a senior senator who wants to put caps on tuition. What would you do to bring funding to higher education up to par with our neighboring states?
Well, one of the things we'd have to do, I think, is give our colleges, our universities, our community colleges, they're not technical schools anymore, they're community colleges, give them some flexibility. You know, if we're going to fund them at the levels we tell them we're going to, then we need to hold their feet to the fire and say, this is exactly how you have to work. But if we're not going to, let's give them some flexibility. Let's give them the ability to, again, to go outside of that box to figure out how they can keep their tuition low, how they can be a better dollar value for the average person that's struggling to go to college, that's trying to meet that daily budget. My son went to his first year at Tri-County Community College, Tri-County Technical School, and I saw a self-assuredness and a self-confidence from my son that I've never seen before. They're vital parts of our community, and giving them that flexibility, whether it's a 2-year or a 4-year institution, I think is vital to our funding needs.
Thank you.
Our next question is it involves an issue that was brought up by the AARP, one of our sponsors here tonight. We do know that this question is for you, Representative Haley, by the way. Your opponent's jobs plan includes improving our infrastructure. What specific improvements do you have in your plan that you would like to make? And with a $1 billion budget shortfall for next year, where are we going to find the money?
You know, what we have to do is understand that when we're looking at economic development, when companies come to this state, they don't need to be coming because we smile and take them to dinner. They need to come because we have a good business climate. What they look for is, number one, a tax structure that is fair, that allows them to be successful and allow them to strengthen. That is something I will work on as an accountant right away. The second thing they look for is a skilled workforce. It's the reason we want to strengthen our technical schools. It's the reason we need to pay attention to K through 12 and make sure that we are giving them the workforce they need. And the third thing they look at is infrastructure. It is roads, it is airfare, so that we are not flying out of Charlotte and Savannah, but we actually have that here in this state. And it's our ports, making sure that our ports are strong so that they can come in and out. It is a very simple process of making sure that the environment for our economic development is strong in the state, but then we also want to make sure we're not looking at just bringing large quantities of companies to this state, but we're also looking at the quality of companies that come to this state so that they help the small businesses we already have.
So is building our infrastructure, improving our infrastructure, is that out of the question for the next fiscal year because so much money has been cut out, or are there other ways to fund this?
It is all about priorities. You know, everyone's talking about the fact that we don't have money. What we have is a tight budget year. What we do have is the ability to prioritize. And we have to turn around and decide, look, are we going to turn around and realize that infrastructure is an issue? Or are we going to turn around and say, you know, that spending on the Education Oversight Committee, which doesn't do anything, is an issue? It is about cutting things that maybe aren't working right now for more important things that would work right now. That's what we need to do. And as an accountant, as a legislator that knows the budget, we are going to jump right in and make those hard decisions, but they're going to be decisions that affect people immediately.
Congressman Barrett, your jobs plan also includes promoting tourism in South Carolina. Be specific in explaining how you would do that and put a price tag on it.
Well, I don't know that you can put a price tag on it because every dollar that you spend, I think it either triples or doubles or whatever, because South Carolina is a wonderful place to visit. It's a good, clean industry.
But how much would you want to spend on doing that, on promoting tourism?
Well, I mean, we'll certainly take a look at it. I don't know that you could put a specific dollar amount on it, and we're open to suggestions, but bringing people into South Carolina to the Grand Strand, to the Low Country, to the beautiful mountains where I live is a wonderful way not only to showcase our area, but to get those dollars in. And when we're talking about bringing tourism in, we've got to think about infrastructure too. I-73. Do we need to think about public-private partnerships? Do we need to think about working with the congressional delegation, the local delegations on our infrastructure? What about devolution? I've been working with Jim DeMint on that specific issue. South Carolina, as you well know, Judy, is a donor state when it comes to road tax money. Let's keep our own road tax money. Let's solve these problems here in South Carolina because we can do it better than any federal agency.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we want to break it up here a little bit and go with some yes or no questions for both of you. Would you support any of these ideas to increase funding for our deficient highway system? Increasing fuel taxes, Representative Haley?
No.
How about adding sales tax to fuel?
No.
No.
Increasing user fees?
No.
No.
Tolling some highways like I